Coach Valencia right here. You guys, grab your coffee, grab your tea, grab your protein shake, have a conversation with us, join us. What are you drinking today, Gus?
I'm drinking one of the, thank you, by the way, Anna Alvarado, she brought this for me. It's actually in our meal guide, guys, the recipe's banana cream pie shake, all right? Try it, it is delicious. It's only 306 or 303, one or the other. Calories, guys, it is delicious, delicious. You guys have to try this, right? Check it out.
Delicious, love it. You guys, that recipe guide has so many recipes in there, especially for shakes. Like there's like a crazy amount of recipes, which now I'm like, I need to try them out.
Yeah,
so. All right, what you got over there, Valencia? Full of water.
High quality H2O.
Same. Okay, you guys, real quick, everybody that's on our challenge right now, you guys should all have one of these filled out with your numbers, with your inches. Okay, you guys, thank you everybody who submitted their progress reports on time.
Yes.
Okay, you guys, so on that first progress report, sorry guys, I know I'm like, I want to show them this stuff. There you go. So we asked you guys for your starting inches, which were pre-challenge, right? And then your week 1 inches. So for this week, we're gonna ask you guys for your week 1 inches and then your week 2 inches, okay? So we're not gonna need that first row anymore. And that's why you guys should be writing your stuff on here so that way you can just, get your numbers from last week and then plug in this week's number. Yes? Is that good? Clear?
Clear.
Okay. That link's gonna go out tomorrow. They are due by
Friday at noon.
Yes.
All right.
But my team, get them in tomorrow. As soon as you get that text at 8 a.m., I want to see all you guys' reports. So as soon as you have time, tomorrow, guys, get them in.
the Gus Bus.
That's
I'm
12.
sure that's what
12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Even if you're on military time, it's still 12. So it doesn't change.
No excuses. Oh, man. Awesome. All right, you guys. We are here today to talk about motivation. Right, Valencia?
Yes.
We're so motivated all the time, right, guys? Like, no matter what, you just stay motivated. Is that true? Is that right?
Not really.
No.
I
No.
was like, it's just a trick question.
That's
Okay, don't hear it
I'm
now.
like, wait a minute.
Well, say yes, Valencia. No, you guys, we don't always feel 100% motivated 100% of the time. So this is going to be a great topic to talk about today. Go ahead, Valencia.
So, as Coach Kat has already done a great job of, yeah, we don't feel motivated at 100% of the time. I would say probably like significantly less than 100% of the time.
Significantly.
But there's a lot of things that go into that. Because I think what I hear a lot from, especially the first week of the challenge, I'm going to use this as an example. If you're not on the challenge, it still applies to everything else. So don't feel like you're missing out just because you're not on it. But I always hear like the first week is like super high octane. Like everybody's firing on like all cylinders. You want to be as perfect as everything as possible. You're doing stuff that you felt like you've never been able to do. You're on top of everything. Like you're riding extremely high, and it's very easy to do that on the first week. Now, granted, it doesn't mean that the things you are doing are easy, but it's like when you have that super high motivation, it's like, oh, cool. Like it takes a lot less effort or received effort to get it done. But as time goes on, there's a chart in my head that I can see, and I forget from what study it is. But it's like as like motivation starts to dwindle, like it progressively gets harder for you to do it. And it's like, oh, like I'm less motivated, and it's like, oh, I really don't want to do this anymore. And it gets increasingly more difficult to do it. But then there's a certain point of diminishing returns there where it's like, oh, like, then it starts to become a habit, or it starts to become your life, and all of a sudden that effort like lessens because you get more used to it. And where people get really caught up on is like when the curve comes up to really high, when it takes a ton of effort and motivation is super low, like that's when people tend to give up or to stop. And that's something that like I definitely want to talk about. And if you don't know already, like I'm in charge of making the topics for the week, or at least pulling it from all the other coaches to figure it out. And I think it's like now is the appropriate time. It's like the first week always goes great. The second week is still always a great week typically. It's the third week where things start to really just like drop off. Like all of a sudden you're saying, hey, I don't have to do this, so I'm not. So I wanted to get ahead of it a little bit before we go into that third week and talk about it. Because I know like the things that motivate me aren't going to motivate Gus. aren't going to motivate Ken, and vice versa. Like things that motivate them isn't going to motivate me. And it's like you can have that common goal, especially here. That's like, oh, I just want to get healthier, and I want to get my fitness levels up, and I want to move faster and just feel better, which are all great motivating factors. But to a certain extent, like it's a little like superficial to what you actually want out of the program, the challenge, out of yourself. So I also encourage you guys to like listen, study, and like watch this video over again, because I feel like there's going to be a lot of great stuff that you can practically do with it. Now, coach, you guys, if you don't mind, because you're also doing this challenge, you're in it with all kinds of stuff like that. Like, what is the like initial motivating thing? What is the thing that she was like, oh, I want to do this challenge because of this?
The main reason, there's two, but the main reason would be you guys. For me, that's what's been motivating me to stay on top of it. Yesterday, I'm not gonna lie, I had like a crazy craving of like a bunch of junk food. It was so crazy, like it was big, and I have go for a walk, and next thing you know, I live really close to a Wingstop, so it's like right there in my face, and I'm just thinking about all the things I can have, like and enjoy. But then I was also thinking about, no, like I'm in this challenge, I'm in it with you guys. I just have to, keep going strong and just like know all the things that I'm gonna feel after I have that junk food, and know what my goal is, and if I will be closer to that goal if I have that junk food, or further away from it if I have that junk food, and then also just like who I'm letting down. So all those thoughts, along with all this all these cravings in my mind, and then at the same time the thoughts of who I'm letting down, if I have that, kind of just kept me like, okay, no. So I just continued on my walk. I went
not today, stop.
Yeah, I was like, not today, not gonna happen. I'll just save it for like maybe another day where I want to treat myself, but today's just not that day. It's really the second week, so I should stay like on top of my things as I can, because like for me it's too soon for me to have a treat meal for myself. It's just too soon for me. I don't feel like I deserve it yet, but when I feel like I deserve it, I will have it. So I just gotta work towards that. But that is what kept me going, and that's what keeps me going right now with this challenge. Is basically just like my fit family and like my team, and not letting anyone down. And I'm letting myself down if I'm cheating too. So I keep I'm very prideful in like how far I've gotten, and I'm happy about that. So I try to not like mess anything up, and I just think about. I always keep on my mind what's gonna happen afterwards. So like, if I treated myself to that, like I said, I just think about how I would felt, and that usually helps me like keep going and like, all right, I don't want that.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. And you guys, that's really what you have to do. Like, you have to be very intentional and like take that time to have those conversations with yourself. Like, how am I gonna feel if I eat this? Like, instead of just like right away going for it and eating it, like you have to take that time and like talk to yourself and think about it. I think that's awesome, and it's just it requires some effort on your end to do that.
Yeah, it's not easy, definitely not easy. I completely understand. You guys probably think it's so easy for Gus to say no to that, but it was really, really hard. I was super close and super tempted of just like grabbing something, because it's that easy. It's so easy to go in the store, order it, bam, you got it. That is easy. Easy, and it's like just as easy as it is to quit. It's easy to cheat, it's easy to do all that, but the hard part is not saying no to that and putting yourself first, guys, and staying on top of your goals. That way you can keep on going like hard and reaching those goals every single time. So that is the hard part, but that is the best part. So make sure you guys are on top of that, and just thinking about all the benefits that comes with all these good choices.
Oh, we gotta. Desi said that
What's up, Desi?
my motivation and my why and being surrounded by people like you guys. My motivation is my why, and it's smoking and being surrounded by people like you guys.
Yes, the Fit Fam definitely helps out tremendously. Like, we help you guys out, but you guys don't even know, man. You guys help us out, because like Gus said, we have to think like we're gonna be letting down like Fit Fam, we're letting down our clients if we don't do these things or like set those examples. So you guys help us out more than you think.
Yeah. What keeps you guys motivated? How do you guys keep going? Anybody?
I mean, definitely like, there's internal motivation, right, which is like your why, and then there's external motivation, which is not bad. We need that stuff too to get us going when we don't want to. But obviously just like having that why in your mind all the time and reminding yourself like constantly, like on a regular basis of like why you're doing what you're doing, right? So like similar to Gus, like if there's certain things that I don't want to get done, like I have to think like, okay, my daughter's gonna see me like not do this or giving up. Like, do I want to set that example for her? No. Do I want to set that example for the team? No. Do I want to set that example for the Fit Fam? No. So like that stuff keeps me going because like you guys are all like my reason for doing what I do, and so like that keeps me going. But also like external motivation, I use it a lot. Like I have vision boards in my Zendan at home. I have like little quotes pinned near my refrigerator and near my light switch when I go into my kitchen. There's like, there's very specific like YouTube videos that I like to listen to that like I already know like they get me going, and I listen to them on a regular basis, especially when I'm like I just don't feel motivated. Like so even sometimes honestly when you're like thinking of your why, like sometimes it's still not enough to like but then if you like put something on that's gonna pump you up and it's gonna like get you back in that state of like feeling good and like give you that energy to go, like I still have to use that stuff too. And I have like my library one for, I don't like to look for new things when it comes to that. I have my ones that I know like speak to me, they resonate with me, they hit me hard, and it's like, so I always go back to those. And if anybody wants to listen to me, I got you guys. And then also like daily affirmations. It's something that I have practiced like for years, and I have my affirmations that I get in front of the mirror and I talk to myself, and I go through my I am statements, and I do that like on a daily basis, and it just like gets me in the mood that I want to get into. So yeah, it's internal and also external.
One thing I wanted to say to that is when we're working on like transitioning our whole life into thinking positive or like being more positive, better, and just getting better and staying motivated, because I'm just now, like I'm doing that right now, like I'm listening to like motivational speeches, like podcasts and things like that. And I wasn't always like that, and I wasn't always the one to read either. I'm slowly reading. Thanks to Coach Valencia right here. He's throwing books at me, and I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna read them. But I'm not a reader. I hate reading actually. But I'm reading. I'm catching myself like I want to change my mindset, my lifestyle for better, and I want to like live what I preach all the time, right? So I'm slowly transitioning into that, into doing those things. Like maybe one day out of the week you'll start watching motivational speeches. You don't have to change dramatically, guys. So that's what I think sets us up, sets everyone up for failure, is if you just automatically just try to twist everything around and change it to something that is just impossible. You have to work towards. That's with everything, all your goals. And so maybe one day you'll read something, maybe another day you'll watch a podcast or listen to one, you'll watch a motivational video, and then as you go progressively, you're going to start noticing that you're going to do it 2 days, then 3, then 4, and then it's going to become a lifestyle, and then you're not even going to know. Before you know it, you're just going to be that person. You're going to stay on top of those things, and it's just going to come naturally, and you're not even going to have to try or put as much effort as you do right now. So that's like with everything. So keep that in mind as you're transitioning and like changing over and just kind of trying to figure things out. Sometimes like Coach Kat said, your why isn't enough, but slowly as you keep doing those things, you're slowly going to naturally shift over and just do all the things that you want to do and change for the better. So,
yes, you got to go through those uncomfortable stages, right, where it does take a lot of energy, a lot of effort, until it gets to where it's just like becomes more natural. Yeah, for sure. What about you over there, Valencia?
When it comes to me, like I feel like I've developed a lot of personas, like not in like a schizophrenic way, but like like I've developed like a lot of like different personalities when it comes to certain situations, and like that's helped me a lot, like especially when it comes to like work, even the different types of work. Like when I'm coaching, my goal is to be as like fun, loving, caring, and energetic as possible. But now it's like also when I'm sitting down at the computer, like my goal isn't to be like that physically. It's like to transfer that kind of information online, but also to be that coach to you guys. And so the reason why I say this translates into like what's my motivation is because each individual persona and like act that I'm doing requires a different kind of like stimulus or different kind of motivation. Like when I'm lifting heavy, like I still like lifting very heavy. I like endurance training. I like, you know, doing everything, but like there's just something that I love about like lifting really heavy weights. It's just like the part of my brain that's like, it was figured out if I can do this. Like the other day I was deadlifting and I was doing 3 sets of 10 with like 305 pounds, and every single time I'm like, I don't want to do this. But then there's just like that feeling that it's a different mentality. Like I'll watch pump-up videos of like old school bodybuilders that are like 260 pounds and just absolutely shredded. But I'm like, cool, like when I'm doing that, like it's more of that pump of motivation. But then like Kat had said, and Gus has gone, like the reason why internally is I have this very big drive for myself. It's like I just want to be the best that I can be. Like cut and dry. Like, it doesn't matter, like it's not about anybody else but myself. Because I have this very strong feeling, and it's why I try to work on myself as hard as I do. Of like, cool, if I can't be like 100% who I am and be at my 100%, like I can't give anybody else that same amount of effort. And I know I've told you a handful of you guys that too. It's like, okay, cool, where if you're not taking care of yourself and you're focusing all your energy on somebody else, like you can't really give them 100% of that energy because you're not in that space. And so for me, a lot of my motivation comes in like, I just want to be the best person that I can be, like, period. Because I was listening to a podcast yesterday, and I've listened to it like 3 or 4 times by now, over and over again. But Tim Grover, a renowned athletic specialist, was essentially talking about something where it's like, it's okay, like if you get better one day, that means the next day, like you're the best person that you've ever been. Like that, like cut and dry, that simple. Like if you get better today, you are now the best person that you have ever been. But at the same time, if you decide to just kind of like stagnate and then develop bad habits and like regress, like there's always a better version of you that has existed in your lifetime. And I'm like, okay, cool. I don't want to be looking back at like who I was and where I could have been. Like, I want to crush that person and get to that next step. Like I'm very competitive with myself and my own nature. And it's like this really big drive. I'm like, okay, let's see how much I can do. Let's see how much I can like push myself, push my boundaries, like see where is like my breaking point. And from the outside looking in, I look like a crazy person because it's like, why would you do these things? Like there's so many other ways to live.
We love crazy around here.
But for me, it's like, okay, cool, because if I'm able to do this, then like what's the next thing I can do? When, for example, when I did the 4x4 this year, after I was done, it was less than like, oh, like I did it, I'm done. I'm like, that was much easier. Like I didn't feel as much as a challenge as I did on the last one. The first time I did it, I'm like, okay, cool. Like, what do I have to do to go like make it more difficult? And immediately I was like, what if I do like another like 8 hours? And I was like, I have to work tomorrow. I have responsibilities. But for me, like that motivation comes very much intrinsically, and like externally, there's a whole lot of things. Like I see what Kat's able to do, and I'm like, okay, like how do I like learn from her? How do I better myself from her? I see what Gus is very good at, and I'm like, okay, how do I better myself from there? My motivation it comes from other people, more of seeing like what they are capable of and what they are able to do, and how I can translate that and replicate that into my own life. It's not maybe that I'm trying to become Gus. By no means am I trying to make myself him. But what I am trying to do is, bring those same values to myself. It's like, okay, if Kat is amazing at building relationships, especially with you guys. Kat is amazing at like having those really deep connections, and I think that I do a good job, and I hope that I have really good relationships with each and every one of you. But I'm like, okay, cool. Like, there's something there that I can strive to be. So I want to see how do I close that gap. And so I feel like that's where a lot of my motivation comes from.
Awesome. Yeah, again, it's like you gotta be like, I hope you guys are talking to yourselves, man. Like doing so positively, and I think that's awesome. Like I feel like that's really what we're all trying to do is just be like the best versions of ourselves. And that's something like a conversation that I have with myself, like every Sunday. On Sundays it's like finally a day where you're just like, I'm home and I have time to reflect on the week. And I first go down like a hole of like the things that I didn't go my way, or not my way, but things that didn't go well. Like maybe I didn't like how I handled situations, or I didn't like follow through with certain things, or maybe I feel like I didn't make my team feel appreciated enough this week or something like that. Like I start thinking of those things and I start like feeling really like down on myself, like, oh, I didn't. But then it's like, okay, no, like starting tomorrow, I have like a new opportunity to like turn all that stuff around and make it even better. And so again, it's like just trying to be better every day, trying to be better every week, and then like Lindsay said, and every day you're like that new like best version of yourself. So that's awesome.
Yeah, and it's so super easy to like dwell on all the negative things, guys. It's like, I mean, I can sit there and like throw all the things that I didn't do great, and I can dwell on all those thoughts. But instead of doing that, we should probably like we should probably think about all the good things that we're doing, right? Because it takes a lot to come here, work out after like everything that you have going on in your life, work and everything. Like not everyone is in a good place every day, and so like all the good things that you do, think about those things, because like a lot of people, you have the choice to not do it and to do it. And the fact that you're doing it, and there's millions of people who are not even doing close to what you're doing to make themselves better, that's already a win right there. So focus on those things, because those are the things that are going to keep on getting you going and keep reaching like that next level and keep on getting better. And it just, no one's perfect. We all like make mistakes. We all have bad days, good days, great days, awesome days. But the purpose is learning and growing and getting better and making better choices every single day, every hour, every minute, every second. All right, so keep that in mind.
Yes.
And also, and hand in hand with that, for those of you that don't know, me and Sean jumped out of an airplane a couple weeks ago. But I genuinely believe this, like truly, and the reason why I like to do crazy stuff is because it's like also like getting uncomfortable, and like the action of like pushing yourself and getting uncomfortable gives you a whole lot of motivation. And that's why the theme of the week, I think you can see it on camera, the theme of the week is action. Like, action, when you go and do something, you feel motivated afterwards. Like I don't think I can count how many people come in like every day and they're just like, oh, like, you ready? And they're like, not really. And I'm just like, okay, cool. But it's like, we're not gonna harp on you and be like, well, you should be ready. Like, it's like, we get it. Like, there's times where I go to work out and I'm just like, I really don't want to be here. I don't want to do this. And I might be like 3 exercises in and I'm like, okay, but you keep going. But afterwards, you're just like, all right, like, I did it. And then all of a sudden, like, that catalyst goes where it's like, okay, like, on to the next thing, on to the next one. Maybe, like, crush the rest of my day. It's like, when you go and do something, it provides you with that motivation secondary. Like, for those of you that signed up for the challenge, like, when you signed up for the challenge, it might have been just like, you saw it, you're just like, you know what, I'm just going to pay for it, buy it. But then as soon as you, like, bought it, and you, like, looked through things, you're just like, oh, I can do these things. Like, oh, and now I have this goal. And all of a sudden, like, the act of just purchasing and registering for the challenge sparked up all these other things that you're just like, oh, I'm motivated, like, I want to do these things. And now it's like, okay, where the rubber meets the road, and now I'm doing more action and getting more benefit out of it. And then it's like this constant cycle of like, you gotta do something. At the end of the day, you gotta do something. Like, that's what's gonna bring everything, that's what's gonna keep everything moving forward. You have to do something. I'm not saying you have to jump in a marathon. If you want to,
take some action.
And to tie to that, to what you just said right there too, like Coach Valencia said, I know I get a lot of people who are like, I'm not ready, or maybe I'm just tired, or I don't know yet, I'm still thinking about it when I'm asking them if they're ready to crush your workout and stuff. But guys,
I haven't heard that, but I'm thinking about it.
Still thinking about it as I'm walking in.
I still have time.
Sometimes I've heard that, so I'm just like, okay, it's all good. The fact that you made it in, guys, and you didn't miss a day, by the end of the week, that progress that you see, tell me if you're not happy about that. Anyone cannot say that they're not happy, or by the end of the month, after knowing that you didn't miss a day and you still came, the progress is there and it's visible. Like, you can see it, and that even is like, that is like, oh my God, like, I'm so glad I did not miss that day. I'm so glad I kept going. I'm so glad I kept pushing through all these like negative thoughts or me wanting to just stay home. So that too right there, that the progress is proof of your action, and that's like the best gift that you can see, or the best prize, the best accomplishment right there. Like it's the progress.
Yes. So even if you guys aren't feeling like it, man, just show up, you guys, and then you get through your workouts, and then you feel good afterwards, and then you feel motivated.
Yes.
So, you're not gonna always feel like super fired up, pumped up to work out. We don't even always feel that way, but afterwards, then you do. So, I think there's a quote that says like action beats anxiety, right? Like if you're like you're just like stressing over something, you're feeling very anxious, like if you don't do anything, you're gonna stay in that state. So like let's go, like take some action, think about something that you need to do, even if it's just like a small step, then do that, and then just keep chipping away at things, don't just stay like dwelling in negativity. That's not good. If we have any, guys, please let us know how you guys are feeling. How do you guys stay motivated? What are some things that you guys do to keep yourselves motivated? Or let us know what your why is.
Nelly said, I keep a pair of shorts I used to wear, and they remind me of how hard I've worked and that I'm not going back to fitting into them.
There you go. Yes, that is awesome. There you go, you guys. Like, it's not going to always come from inside. Like, you got to have those visuals right there, Like, yeah. Post those pictures and stuff up, or your jeans or whatever it is, your shorts, the swimsuit, whatever you got going on.
Or you like look up to like have them right there in your wallpaper. I used to do that, but now I have myself in my pocket.
I have like pictures of like some, I don't know, like fitness models from like magazines, but I always try to find ones where like you can't see their face, because I don't need to be looking at anybody else's face. Like I like to just see the body. So I get like ones where like you don't see their faces. If you do, I'm like, no, I don't want that on my wall. Because then I can visualize myself, And that's the thing, you guys, like set some goals for yourself. Like have that vision that you want, and then you're gonna know what you're gonna be working towards, and then celebrate every freaking step of the way, all your wins along the way. What you guys are doing is amazing. Yes.
But those cause emotion. And also like something that I learned relatively recently was like to have a goal in mind, but like I think one of the mistakes that happens is when you have a goal, you set it as like the end point. And like I know that I've fallen into that where it's like, oh, I'm gonna reach this goal, when I reach this goal, like I'm done. Like have that like 6-month goal where you're just like in 6 months I want you to reach X. Regardless if you reach it or not, or you fall a little bit short, like the progress that you make over those 6 months is going to be a lot. But also have in mind that it's a part of the overall plan. It's the part of like the rest of your life. So it's like always having that like next step and that like vision and that focal point. It's like having a target in front of you. That way you know where you want to go, you know what direction you're going to go in, you know what you're trying to hit. Not every single time is going to be a bullseye, but if you still make it on the board, like you get points. And then you just have to continuously like stack up those points for the rest of your life to make sure that you at least are putting in the effort, you're putting in the time.
Yeah, and that's why I love like vision boards. Like those help me out a lot, because like I have pictures of like how I want my life to be, things that I want to do, places I want to go, how I want to, look and feel and stuff like that. So there's days when I just am like not feeling it, like I will just lay there on the ground and stare at my board, and then like you start visualizing, and then just something happens where you start getting that energy to like, all right, I gotta go, because like I have things that I'm trying to accomplish. I'm trying to go places and do things, like big things. So like I gotta get up and get going, so like you guys like take that time for yourself. I know we're busy and we're on the go, but you also gotta like slow down and think about yourself and what you want and what you need to do, and then take action on it, right? We can't just be dreamers, you guys. We gotta be doers. I'm a big dreamer. I know we all are, but like we gotta be some action takers too. Like take massive action, you guys. All right, every day. Why not? It's a daily plan. Oh man. All right. Any other comments on there, Valencia?
Yeah, Monica said, I keep a picture of myself at my heaviest, and that is my motivation to not let myself go back to it. go.
Yeah.
Nice.
Becky said, I get motivated from great coaches and from the feeling after a workout and how I feel look better in my clothes.
We got you, Becky. Yes, I do. I have like these yoga pants, these leggings that I wear, and those are like how I know, right? Like I put them on, if they're feeling good, I'm like, yeah, I feel good. If they're like not feeling good, it's like, all right, motivation, let's go. Let's go, Cal, we got some work to do.
I was like, I think like these jeans that I've had for a while now, because I don't buy new things very often, at least not like clothes or anything. I guess you guys can talk about that later. But it's like when I bought these jeans, like they were loose. Like they were loose on my legs. And I'm talking about like 2 years ago, like 2.5 years ago. Like they were loose on my legs. Now everybody's like, why do you wear such tight jeans? I'm like, because of that. Like I couldn't care less about what anybody else thinks about me, but I'm like, that just means it's like I did what I set out to do. And I'm like, cool. So every time that I wear them, I'm just like, I wear them with pride. Sometimes like I'm just like, maybe it's a little too much, I do like the clothes. But that's a whole different thing.
Do you guys do anything to get yourselves like pumped up for something like, you know?
Like what?
Like, I mean, anything, I don't know, even like when you guys are like coaching in here, like you guys are gonna be running sessions, or maybe you have like something big going on, like how do you guys get yourselves like pumped up and motivated?
I got something, you guys are gonna think this is weird. So every once in a while, it doesn't happen too often, but like let's say I'm like really like not feeling it, and I'm driving here at 4 in the morning, and I'm like, I'm tired, it's like I don't know if I'm gonna do a good job today. Like I just start blasting music and like roll the windows down, especially when it's like 40 degrees outside, it's freezing, and just start blasting music, and I just like word for word, bar for bar, just go in on whatever song is playing, and like as loud as I can, I'm just like getting that energy going. So if you ever hear someone like screaming and a maniac at like 4 in the morning that's this way, it's me.
What are you like listening to?
Just a
Rap music?
Oh, that's all I listen to.
What about you guys?
For me, I do a lot of singing at the top of my lungs, but I listen to like just anything that's gonna get me up there, and I also just start thinking a lot about like the session and how I want it to be, and what I want to bring like right away, how I want people to feel, and like get my like what kind of energy I want them to receive from me. And so knowing that I have like a session and a lot of like people here like that are gonna be like depending on me for that session and my energy and like for me to uplift them, because like not everyone comes like all energetic, or some people had a bad day or whatever. So knowing that I have that power to bring you from here to here, that fires me up. And also just knowing that like I'm gonna like crush you guys. Not in a bad way. Not in a bad way, but like in a good way with like a good workout, with like that just us like seeing all of you guys nice and sweaty and like just going hard, your heart rates are on top of the roof right there. I just that like brings me like just a lot of joy, and like it gets I'm already fired up right now. Like, I just want to see you guys.
Let's
right
go.
here.
He wants to crush your guys.
I really love all of you guys, and the fact that you guys are that focused and that committed, it fires me up. I just want to help you reach that goal, and like if I can do that and make your life better one day at a time, then I'm all here for it. Like that's what gets me fired up, and I'm here for it. So yeah, just thinking about all of that just gets me like in the right zone, and then knowing that my team is here and like we're just supporting each other, we're on the same page, and that just gets me like going.
On another note, because I just remembered, I feel really bad for my neighbors like half the time that I'm working out at my house. Because like the whole music thing, like when I get really focused in that zone, like I just get very loud.
Mm-hmm.
Like especially when I'm at my own house, like I'm extremely yelling. And like if I'm doing like my bike training or stuff, that like sucks. Or if I'm like doing like weightlifting in my backyard, which sucks, but it's a good pain. Like I'm just back there, I'm like screaming at the top of my lungs and just like, you know, talking to myself and be like, come on, let's go. There's not as nice language in there, but it's just the way that I perceive myself. But it's like that, like, I don't know, there's just a really good feeling about like letting everything out and just like expressing yourself to the highest thing that like, I don't know, that also motivates me.
Yeah. I do that in here. You guys ever work out next to me? I'm extremely loud when I work out. Like I like to talk. I like pump myself up. I like to pump workouts. In here, yeah, it's like profanity. That's like the best way to pump yourself up sometimes. Oh man, awesome. All right, now I feel like I want to like share some like YouTube links with you guys, like stuff that I listen to. I'll try to share it with you guys. I have one with there's one from Todd Durkin, who's like that like me and Todd Durkin. We're homies, you don't even know it. But anyway, he has a video, and I like, and if I put it on when I leave my house, I will finish it by the time I get here in the parking lot, and it's just like, I've heard that thing probably like well over 100 times, and it's still like, it gets me going. And that's what I listen to when I was coming in like early in the mornings. Like music doesn't do it for me. I love music, like when I'm here for the sessions, I like to have the music super loud, that gets me going. But on my drives, like I like to listen to something that's gonna like pump me up, boost up like myself, my confidence, my energy. Because at the end of the day, guys, that's what you have to show up with like confidence to what you're doing, like believe in yourself, tell yourself like that you got this, like remember who you are, and like just get after it. Like there's no need to doubt yourself. So I'll share that stuff with you guys.
I want to see it now. I want to know what that is.
Yeah, it's an awesome one. I love it. Like it's I don't even know how many times I've listened to it. All right, awesome.
I think that just about wraps this one up.
Yes. All right, you guys. Stay motivated. Stay inspired. Stay consistent. And I don't know, you guys. Thank you guys for joining us today. Make sure you guys look for your progress report links tomorrow if you guys are on the challenge. If you're not on the challenge, you guys, hopefully you guys are tracking your progress some way or the other, you guys, because when you see that you're making progress, it's going to keep you motivated, okay? So we got to do it, all right? Is that what we got today?
Yep.
Yes. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Hands in, you guys. Family on 3. 1, 2, 3.